view here with the home page of the psychologist website that I put up. And what you want to notice is that the text in here, a lot of this text is like what they call lorem ipsum, just holder text. So that's what we would come in, right, and change. And these pictures as well, they can give you a sense of what works, right? Like it looks like black and white, not too many splashy colors would probably be the way to go when you do your own pictures on a template like this. But again, you could take it whatever direction you want. So let's step back here into, now this is WordPress, the back end of WordPress, and then this would be called the front end of WordPress, what people see, and then versus what the admin sees. So here I've clicked on pages. Here are different pages. If you want to add another page, you can just click add new here, or you can hover over the add or the plus new button and then click page. They're equally effective. But what I want to do right now is show you how to tell the website, to tell WordPress that this is actually the home page. How does it know that this is the home page? And it's a setting. It's a custom setting. So what you do is you hover over appearance and then click on customize. And that opens up something called the customizer, which is a part of WordPress. And it's just a different layout. And you don't edit content back here. You don't edit pictures and text back here. You edit more like settings about the site, your customized settings. So for example, this My WordPress and just another WordPress site, they're right here. So we can change them to whatever we want. Just trying to click in here. Having our first technical bump. So there we go. There's just a bit of a lag. And you can see as I delete and replace here, it will also replace it up here. So this is a psychologist website. All right. Now, if you had a logo, you'd add the logo here, and it would be an image. And the way that works is you just click here, then drop the file you want. But be sure to pay attention to these suggested image dimensions. You really want to keep things very small when it comes to file size. So, okay. Let's see. Now, if we go back to the homepage setting, this is where you can tell the website what page to set as the homepage. So here is the homepage right here. From all those other pages that we could select from, we're going to select homepage. And posts page refers to if you had a lot of blog posts, where would the home page for the blog posts be? What they call the archive for the posts. And they actually make it super simple to just add a new page from here if you want to. Once you've made the select, or once you've set or select the settings that you want, click publish. Now it says published, so we can go ahead and click back and make any other changes we want here, like to some menus here, but there's a better place to control the menus from in the admin area. So to jump out of the customizer, just click the X button. And here we are back in the WordPress admin dashboard area. And like I just mentioned, there is a better place to manage menus from, and that is from hovering over appearance and then click on menus. Now if we take a look here at this, what we want to do, if we refresh this site, we can hit Command R or click into the URL bar and hit enter. Now you can see our changes have been applied. But what we really actually want to do is replace this entire header piece with a custom header of our making. that's going to include a menu of our design, and like buttons, for example. So what we do first is just create a menu. Now I just clicked back to where we were a few minutes ago here on appearance menus. You can create different menus. I know that sounds a bit strange right now, but right now we're just creating this menu 1, and we could rename it as, like, let's call it our main menu. Then hit create menu. Okay. Now here's this main menu, and this is the links that it consists of. If we wanted to create another menu, like in the bottom, for example, in the footer, we might want a different menu. You would do that here, and instead of calling it the main menu, you'd call it the footer menu. And that would, you'd control it here, but it would appear in the footer. So right now, I don't want to have this sample page as part of the menu. All I want to have is the home page link, which is also the front page, you can see, because we just made that setting happen. And then the About Us page. To get rid of the sample page, just click on this down arrow and click on Remove. Now it's gone. Okay, that's all I want. I just want those 2 links there. We're going to hit Save Menu. Now that menu's saved. So now the question is, how do we get that menu up here into the header? And the way we do that is we use Elementor. So using Elementor, right below Elementor, there's a templates link. Hover over that and click on Theme Builder. Because now we're going to start to customize the theme, and the header is a distinct part of the theme. So here, if you click on header specifically, you get prompted to add a new header. And we'll just call this main header. Create template. And we're going to be able to control also where it displays across the whole site or in just certain pages. And that goes for all the different components as we build the theme. That's why it's called the theme builder. All right, so there are some templated options here for headers, as you can see. You could also choose different footers or hero images or portfolios. So these are all templates to choose from to make it easy and quick to drop in a header or a footer or whatever it is you want to drop in. So I want to keep it, again, really simple, and let's just drop in, we'll drop in this one right here. You can click the plus button or just the insert button. If you click the insert button, you'll see what happens here. It'll just drop right in. Takes a minute, but there we go. And here's our menu. If I click here on this element, okay, got it. Here's the main menu that it's choosing to display there in the upper right hand corner. If we had other menus that we'd created, we could select them from here, and then those menus would display here instead. So this is what's called a nav menu widget, a navigation menu widget, and that's up here. So that's where you edit the nav menu. Now here, if we click on this element, this is the site logo, but remember we didn't set the site logo. Widget library button, and instead of the site logo, we're just going to pull in a regular image here. So just drag and drop that element into the window, right? And we don't have the site logo yet, so right now I'm going to delete that. But what that site logo would allow you to do is just from the customizer control the site logo, what site logo gets displayed. But instead I just want to choose a one-off image here. And we don't have any that I've uploaded, but this came as part of the Psychologist's website. So one thing I want to point out as well here is that the title, you want to use the correct title. So let's call it the site logo. And let's also give it an alternate text that would say like site logo image. And this is used for, let's say, someone who's using a site reader and they're just listening to it because maybe they can't see. So okay, we're going to select this and insert that media. Yep, there we go. That's the site logo. It's obviously way too large, so click on the style button up here, and then on the width slider you can just give it a slide up to, let's say, 10%. And if you wanted to use a different units like pixels or view width, you could do that as well. But additionally to changing the size, I also want to change the alignment. So rather than being center aligned, I want it to be left aligned. So we'll just click left. And now to preview what this actual page looks like without Elementor sitting on top of it, the page builder, what you do is you click this little arrow button right there, boom, you close the Elementor window, and now we can see that, okay, yeah, the logo is sitting nicely here. There's enough padding here. There's enough padding here as well. And I can see that when I hover over these buttons, you can see right above it that there's a bar that shows up. And that's a style setting, and we could change that to show the bar somewhere else. And the way we would do that is here in the content. So what's called a pointer, right now it's an overline. We could instead do an underline. And now when we hover over, there we go. It shows up down there. If we close this, it'll show up a bit better. So there we go. Cool. Okay. So what we can go ahead and do now is click on publish. Now what we're publishing here is the header. And when we click on publish, what it's going to ask us is, where do you want to display this header template? Set the conditions that determine where your template is used throughout your site. For example, choose entire site to display the template across your whole site. Okay, so let's add the condition. We do want it to display across the entire site. If you wanted it, then from here you could continue to add more conditions if you wanted to. But right now we just want it to display across the entire site. Now it's been published, so let's go back here. And now this portion of the site, this header, if we refresh the site, it's now replaced with what we just made. And if we were to click on the About Us link, it's going to take us over to the About Us page. Now one thing you might be wondering is, well, what is this bar across the top here? This is what's called an admin bar. So when you're an admin in WordPress, you have this option to have a bar display across the top. You don't have to have that happen, though. If you don't want to, just click on Edit Profile, and you just unclick Show Toolbar when viewing site, and save that change. We'll update the profile. And now, so we can go back to the test site from here. Just click there. And you can see that that admin bar that was up here, that toolbar, is now gone. And we can kind of get a better sense of what an actual visitor would see. So the next thing, let's say someone wants to request an appointment, for example. Okay. There are a few ways you could fulfill that request. One is that you could send them to a whole nother page that has a form that they fill out, or you could use what's called a pop-up. And pop-ups are only available in Elementor Pro. So there's that Pro license. So again, if you click in the description of this video on my Elementor affiliate link, that will throw a couple of ducats my way towards this channel from your purchase of Elementor Pro. There's no charge to you at all. So what I want to do is go ahead and show you how to make this button trigger a pop-up that then someone can fill out a form and request an appointment. So let's take a look at how that would work. We'd go back again into the main dashboard, the website WordPress dashboard area, admin dashboard area. And we would hover over pop-ups right here and click on it. And just like we created that header, we're now going to create a new pop-up. And let's call this one the Request an Appointment pop-up. We'll create that template. And similar to how there were a bunch of choices of pre-made headers that we could choose from, there's going to be a bunch of pre-made pop-ups that we can choose from. Now, most of these are not going to really work for what we're doing because we're specifically trying to get someone to fill out a request an appointment form. Whereas a lot of these are just like, hey, sign up for my newsletter, or in some cases like a menu or a 10% off coupon. Okay, so most likely what we're going to do in this case is just start from scratch and make our own. So you can just close this window, and let's give this a second here to load. Try and reload it. So it doesn't want to do its thing. Let's go back into pop-ups. It should now show us that first pop-up. Here it is. And now let's say, see how this text is all stacked on top of itself? To change that, what we need to do is give it some more space by removing one of these other columns. So the short code, we don't really need to look at that all the time. It's not really that relevant. So click on Screen Options, unclick Short Code, and then click Apply. Now you can see that that title column has enough space to not stack. Alrighty, so let's give the Edit with Elementor request another try. And if it puts us into safe mode again, then that means there's just not enough bandwidth to do what I'm trying to do. And that should be changing next week. I have a tech guy coming out to increase the upload speed, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, unfortunately. So this looks like it's not going to work, which is fine. Okay, that's fine. What we'll do instead is we're going to take this button and we're going to redirect it to another page. But instead of creating a request an appointment page, because I think that's going to cause the same issue, I'm going to just show you how easy it is to point a button to another page by pointing it to the About Us page. Okay, so to do that, let's go back to Pages. We'll take a look at the home page. I right-click on Edit with Elementor and then Edit with open in a new tab, and that leaves this Pages tab open, so you don't have to go back and forth so much. So let's wait for this page to load. Hopefully it does. Yeah, it's maybe gonna take too long. Oh no, here it goes. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so the button. Just click on the box this blue box that's around it. If you have trouble selecting a particular element, you can always focus in on this little icon. But usually just clicking into the button works, this area. Okay, so now we're editing the button. And all we want to do is change the link to point to the About Us page. Right now, that pound symbol just voids out the link, so it's just a dead link. So let's delete that. Delete. All right, there's a little bit of a lag. That's okay. There we go. And now, one of the cool things is that you just start typing in the name of the page you want to link to, and it'll start giving you options. And obviously we want to do the About page, so rather than get this whole long URL, it just automatically pulled it in. And this is called the slug, so what comes after the main URL. The About Us page is what we want. If you wanted it to open in a whole new tab or window, it's usually a tab even though it says window, you would just click this button there. And that's it in terms of getting the setup done. Now you need to make sure that you click this update button. So now that's going to save these changes. Okay, now it's been saved. And now to test it, you come back to the site here. Now remember, we refresh the page. I'm just hitting Command R. You could come up to here as well and just press Enter. It's going to have the same effect as a refresh. So we're now pulling in that new data. We just saved that new homepage. Now we've got it loaded up. Let's see. We hover over Request an Appointment, and yep, sure enough, down below, there's the new link. So if we click it, here we go, to the About Us page. Awesome. So in the future, we'll see there's going to be like a request an appointment page And that's where a form would be to request an appointment. So I think what I'm going to do is save that for episode 3. We'll take a look at the request an appointment page and setting up a form and how that works. But for now, I'm just trying to kind of think big picture if there's anything else I want to touch on before ending the stream. You can see here, this is all old data, completely how it used to look. And so we can just close that page. I think that's pretty much it for this stream. Thank you so much for watching. And in fact, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch back to